Hi, I'm Jana, and this is a very special Real Mom car tour because I have been driving the 2024 Chevy Traverse, and I am in West Georgia. I've taken it on trails, I've taken it on the open road. I have done so many great things, and I'm going to tell you what I loved and what you need to know. So come with me and let's check out the new Chevy Traverse. Hi, I'm Jana, and if you're new here, I'm glad you found me. I am a boy mom, an auto enthusiast, and an Aquarius. Sometimes my life and my videos are a little bit chaotic, but I hope you like this brand of car tours. So buckle up and let's get back to it. Okay, the first thing you're going to notice is this revised front end. It is bigger and wider and much more substantial. This to me looks like the front end of the Chevy Tahoe, and I think it's meant to. I'm calling this a baby Tahoe, so just get used to it. That's what's gonna happen right now. We have LED lights that run all the way around. This is the RS, so this is gonna be your top of the line trim level. This is gonna have all of the amenities you want and need to have a more premium experience inside your cabin. Every trim level of the new Traverse is gonna have a brand new to Chevrolet engine. It's a 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It's gonna make more horsepower than the outgoing V6. It's gonna come in around 328 horsepower and about 326 pound-feet of torque will be generated. It's also gonna have a better MPG. And I'll put those numbers on the screen so you can see them because it varies based on the front-wheel drive versus the all-wheel drive. But your fuel economy is better with this engine than the outgoing engine. So Chevy put this engine through the paces to make sure it had longevity and durability. And we put the car through the paces through our driving the past 2 days, and it has performed. This is rated to tow up to 5,000 pounds, and this engine will make it possible for you to do that. So I know a lot of people have a lot of thoughts about the V6, but I'm telling you, I really do think this 2.5 liter 4-cylinder is going to be capable. So I do want to swing around to the side and just show you the side body, and probably my favorite glow up that Traverse has gotten is on the RS, and it is these 22-inch blacked out wheels. And this is standard 22s for the RS, and I feel like it sets off the whole style of this SUV. It looks bigger, it looks more substantial, and I feel like a lot of my families out there, I have to drive a 3-row SUV. I don't necessarily go buy one because I want to drive something that looks like it belongs in the Target parking lot. But just because I need it doesn't mean that I don't want to look cool. And this takes cool mom to a whole nother level. So that's the second thing that I think is really substantial. And as we swing to the back, this is really dusty. We've taken it, like I said, all over, no fear, but it is boxier and it feels higher and wider. And I do want you to know, this is the biggest mid-size 3-row SUV that you can buy. So if this is not enough space, you're gonna have to step up to a Tahoe Suburban, Expedition, Yukon, you get the point. So this really is going to give you the most passenger space and most cargo space of any mid-size 3-row SUV. A couple things you should know. Some of the biggest competitors are Palisade, Telluride, and I want you to know this is 7 inches longer than those vehicles, and it's also 7 inches wider, and you're gonna feel that inside, and I'll show you when we get in there. Actually, let's just go now. Let's find a ponytail holder in Georgia, and let's go now. I am jumping in to the driver's seat, and these are power adjusted seats with lumbar. And since I'm talking about seats, I'll let you know that this is real leather, and it has your signature RS in the headrest. You're also gonna know that it's an RS because of this sporty red stitching that you're gonna see throughout. And the front seats are both heated and ventilated, and the second row is heated, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So I want to tell you why I really have enjoyed driving the Traverse. This 2-piece display, this is a 17.7-inch color touchscreen, and this is an 11-inch digital driver display. That's kind of a mouthful, but you can customize this and I'll show you what that looks like a little bit later. But what you may not be able to tell is that my line of vision, my eyesight is coming out here. And this is sunken. It has been dropped down so that as I'm driving, that's not in my way. All I see is the road ahead. I do see the hood, and it makes me feel like I'm driving a truck. There's a lot of Chevy truck DNA in the new Traverse. It no longer looks like a grocery getter or something that should be parked at Walmart. And it now feels more like a Tahoe. And I really, really like that, and I felt it when I was driving it. I like the steering wheel. It is leather wrapped, and it has a really good feeling. It's got a thicker, so I have a really much better hold on it, and I like that. We have paddle shifters in case you want to kick it up a notch. And you have an electronic gear shifter, which has been pulled out and put up on the column, which I know a lot of people are fans of. So that is where that stuff is. And I'll tell you what is not over in this way, which you might be used to seeing. Your drive mode button, your parking brake button, your all-wheel drive, and your auto stop and start are over here. So you're not going to find them on another part of the car, which took me a second to get used to. But you can toggle your drive modes right from here. And I'm going to go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like on your screen. So you have a tow and haul drive mode. You have snow and ice, pretty self-explanatory. Off-road is a true off-road drive mode for when you're going higher speeds, but you need better traction. Sports, when you really want to kick it up a notch, you're going to get better performance, less MPG, but it's going to be really peppy. And then normal, which is going to be your around town, everyday drive mode, probably your best or most normal MPG, and just a great all-around drive mode. So if you don't want to mess with that kind of stuff, you can stick it in normal and you'll be good to go. There's other things that you can see and control from this screen. And it does take a second to get used to, but let me show you how to do that. You have your lane keep button here where you can toggle it on and off. You also control your lights, and this is a big one for me because it took me a minute to figure out how to get the lights on because I was looking at all the traditional places for lights and they weren't there. So you control them here with obviously your daytime running lights, your high beams, and that sort of thing. And then you can go one step further, and this button takes you to other controls like you can turn your dome light on or off. You can lock out your second row windows so kids aren't playing with them. Turn your traction control and your high beams on and off, your auto park assist and park assist. So this does have the traditional park assist, which you've probably seen before. It's going to, you're gonna hit that button, identify a space, push the space on the screen, and it will either put you in this space perpendicularly or parallel based on the selection that you make. It's like this. You identify your space, you hit this, and then the car will steer you into this space. For my people who aren't good parkers, this would be a help. But the turning radius on Traverse is really good. It's been a great driving car. To me, it feels like a truck, but it handles more like a car. So one of the other things I did want to draw your attention to on this screen are cameras. And there are some fantastic cameras on Traverse. This is my front camera. This is what I can see out in front of the car. You have an overhead view and a side view. And this is for all my ladies who are running over curbs or having trouble backing out of a spot and you bump over the side. You can see what's on both sides of the car. So whether you're going through a narrow pass or whatever, I love having side cameras. And they're not as common as you would think. This is your cameras in the rear. So you have your standard view, that's what's behind my Traverse right now, your overhead side again from the rear, but you have a hitch view camera, and Traverse can tow or haul up to 5,000 pounds. So I think it's really great that you do have a camera looking right down onto your hitch. Another fun thing they've added standard on every Traverse is Google Voice Assistance. Hey Google. And I don't have to go through all that. One of the things I love in a family vehicle is a camera in your rear view mirror. And that is what is behind me right now. And this is so handy if you have a Costco haul or you have a tall person in the middle of your third row. Or for me, the most recent time I used it, I inflated 20 balloons with helium to take to my son's birthday party. And they all went in the hatch and I couldn't see a thing out of the traditional mirror. So I flipped this on and I could see what was behind me so I could make my maneuvers in traffic, park, whatever you need to do. Also at your fingertips, in addition to having your climate controls up here with your heated and ventilated seat controls, You also have your climate pulled out, which I really appreciate because when I'm on the fly, sometimes I don't want to mess with this and I want to do a quick adjustment to my temperature. You can also charge devices multiple ways. You have a wireless charging pad, a place for a USB, a USB-C. You have a 12-volt plug under here. Take my word for it. 2 cup holders, a little area for storage, a ton of storage under your armrest, and there is a little light right here. This is very deep and you can put a lot of stuff in there. But one of my favorite things is because of the electronic gear shifter, it opens all this up to give you a pass-through. I call it a hidey hole. And basically, it is where you would put, I'm gonna do a water bottle for lack of a better. It is where you could put things out of sight. iPads, purses, makeup bags. When my kids bring their Switch to soccer practice, I throw it under there. It keeps things from rattling around, slipping around, and it keeps things from getting your car broken into. So I really, really like the addition of a pass-through. We have ambient lighting, which I'm an enormous fan of, and you have a plethora of colors to choose from. And whenever I have a car that has ambient lighting, I change it based on my mood or based on the month. So right now we're in April and I feel like everything's in bloom, so it has to be pink or coral, or maybe orange or yellow. We're gonna leave it on hot pink. Really, really like the addition to ambient lighting. That feels more premium to me. It feels like something you would get in more of a luxury vehicle. And I think it's a nice, nice touch. The thing about RS, at this price point, it is competing with a lot of cars that have a lot of fancy features. And I don't really think we're missing a beat here. I really like the way it rides, drives, but the money's gonna be made in the second and third rows because if you have a Traverse, you have a family and you're probably hauling your kids. So we need to know what it feels like in the second row. In the second row, I have a lot of leg room. This is set for me, I'm 5'7". That is a ton of space. I have really great headroom. Right away I noticed we have vents up top, and this is so critical when you have children in car seats because it's really hard to get air into those cars, especially rear-facing car seats, if the only vent options are right here. So this does a better job so that the baby is not sweating quite so much. You can also control your temperature back here for the rear passengers. And like I mentioned earlier, people in the second row do have heated seats. You have 2 USB-C device charging ports right there and a traditional household plug. I really think the 2 cup holders on the back of the console is very family friendly and well thought out. I know other car makers have it as well. When you have it in the door, when the kids slam in and out of the door, sometimes those fly on the floor. It's happened to me so many times. I feel like this is such a prime place to hold water bottles. There's also a little cubby under here just as a catch-all, storage, snacks, whatever. My kids would probably put trash in there and I'd be cleaning it out forever. And these seats are on rails, which means depending on who needs more legroom, they can go up and back. And I think they also recline. But the best part about these second row seats is that they have, in the RS trim level, a button to have them tip and slide. And I do want to show you that because if you have a forward-facing car seat installed, you should not have to remove it to get somebody into the third row. So hit this button and you can see how the car seat will tip and slide, giving you so much access into the third row. So I'm gonna get back there and close this door behind me and we're gonna see how it feels. We're gonna see how it feels to be in the third row of Traverse. It's not bad. I have a couple of inches of clearance on my legs and this is all the way back. My knees, I mean, they're close, but I'm fine. And I have my feet under the seat. You also, the thing about having buckets in the front as opposed to a bench, you can stick your legs out. Each person has the exact same amenities, if you will call it that. A bottle holder, a little snack or storage tray, a USB-C charging port, and vent up top. Each seating position back here does have a headrest or a head restraint, which is very important if you are going to have somebody in the middle of the third row. And I think this is a decent size middle seat. It's not just for tiny, tiny people. I could do this, maybe not for 2 hours, but I would be completely fine sitting in the middle of this bench seat. I am in the third row of Traverse. Scotty's driving, and I want to see how comfortable it is. I actually am in this middle seat because I thought the video would be better, but also Some people have done away with 3 seats back here and they've actually made it a dedicated 2. And I have mixed feelings. I don't hate a 3rd if it has, Mama's got some hips and I fit fine. A teenager, a smaller person, somebody who's not in a car seat would fit fine here. I don't think I would install a car seat in the middle, but I probably wouldn't do that on any vehicle, not just this one. I do want to mention while I'm saying bench seat, you can get an optional bench in most trim levels, I think, of Traverse, and it would be on a 60-40 split, and the 40% of your bench would have the car seat tilt. So just so you know, for your car seat installation, there are 2 full sets of latches and tethers, and that's on these bucket seats. And back here, we do have 3 top tethers, but you would need to install car seats in the 3rd row with a seat belt, just so you know. So I'm gonna show you how to get out, and the best thing about this trim level is that there is a button right here. So if I'm in the 3rd row, this seat will get out of my way, and it's a much more graceful exit out of the 3rd row. So if you're gonna haul a lot of people, you need to be able to haul all of their things. And I think we can do it in the cargo area. So let's go check it out. One of the most family-friendly features is an auto sense lift gate. Check that out. I have the fob on me, and when I come back to my vehicle, when I get close to the lift gate, it will beep to alert me that it realizes I'm there, and then it will open, which is so important when you got a baby on your hip or a shopping cart or your hands are full. I really, really, really appreciate that feature. And this is what your cargo looks like. If you remember, I said these do recline. And so these are in the most reclined position. And I still have pretty decent cargo room right here. So you could stack in the South we say a gracious plenty. You could stack plenty of your carry-on suitcases back here. If you're gonna haul a lot of people, you need to be able to haul all their things. And Traverse has best in class cargo room. So we're heading to the airport soon. So I'm gonna show you how our stuff fits in the back of Traverse. And every time I load with luggage, I usually have somebody try to mansplain to me how I could Jenga this in better. But honestly, I feel like I'm doing okay. We've got 2 of the carry-on bags, my backpack with all my media stuff, a coat, and look at this. Actually, look at this. You can get a bunch of luggage in the back of Traverse with the 3rd row up, which is so meaningful because you can haul all your people, you can haul all your things. If you have a dog crate, whatever you have, there's plenty of room for it. And I would confidently say you could fit 6 carry-on bags. 2 more here, 2 more this way. That is best in class cargo. And the thing that makes RS shine is that you get these buttons to lay your seats down automatically.
Push the button.
So with the touch of a button, we're laying the 3rd row totally flat. And I can lay the 2nd row flat as well. So if you need exponentially more cargo or you're at Home Depot doing your DIY, you can lay everything down and get a ton of cargo space. You have to manually bring the 2nd row back up. You can use these buttons to bring your 3rd row back up. In your cargo, you do have a place with a 12-volt plug. And under here is a really nice subfloor. And this is, and I hate to say it's cooler like because people always get all fired up about that, but this is an insulated, removable subfloor. So you can pull this out, you can store things in here if you need to remove things, dirty soccer cleats. You can take this out every once in a while and hose it down, and it has holes so it will drain. Do with that information what you will, and if you wanted to ice down some waters, that's your business. One of the cool things that most SUVs have nowadays is an ability to set this height for your garage. So if you're a shorty or if you have a smaller clearance in your garage, you can pull this down to a height that's more comfortable for you. And then every time your liftgate opens, it will always remember and come back to your desired height. And I think I mentioned it, but towing 5,000 pounds. And there's a light right here which can kind of illuminate what you're trying to do in your cargo area at night. Yep, it's the work light. I'm gonna try to engage Super Cruise in the new Traverse. And I have not used Super Cruise a lot. So I'm excited to see what it can do, because this is a feature that I need with all the driving that I do so that I can get to my destination a little bit more refreshed. So I'm gonna tap this button. I'm showing that it's already set, right? I don't know how I'm saying that, but I think it's on. Cruise braking on, and I've got it set to 55, which is the speed limit here. And notice that this lights up green, which means that the Super Cruise system is fully engaged. And it will be blue if there's something that I need to do, or maybe it's not fully engaged, but it's on. And then it will turn red if there's an alert or something I need to be aware of and I need to take the wheel. So I'm going to let go of my steering wheel, put my hands in my lap. I think one of the things that's so important about talking about hands-free driving is people get all worked up about it. And it's not so that you can be on your laptop doing things. It's so that you don't have to be so fatigued behind the wheel. And just taking a little break, I think, is very helpful, especially on long trips. And the technology is so refined now that this is gonna speed me up and slow me down, and it's gonna watch the lines of the road. There's cameras and sensors all over this Traverse that's gonna take into account what's happening around me. Not just the gap adjust, which is the distance between me and the vehicle in front of me. And that, I'm gonna do it with the biggest gap, which means I want extra cushion. Oh my gosh, I had to get quiet because I'm letting the car slow down. The car in front of me turned and I did not take control, but now it wants me to, because obviously lanes have changed, the sensors can't find the line. So I got some haptic feedback, which means my seat vibrated a little bit and my steering wheel flashed red to let me know I needed to take control, which is why it's so important that you are paying attention.
Anything else you want to say?
I don't know, I just really like the fact that this is a very intuitive system. And once you know how to use it, it's easy to use. I think that's all the way all these are set up. I like it. So as you can tell, the Chevy Traverse has had a major glow up. And I would say it is in a class all of its own now. With the new improved engine, the really aggressive body style, this is a car that you want to drive, not a car that you just have to drive. I love the tech. It's been a really fun car to take both on trails and on the highway. And if you have any questions about the Traverse, just let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. All these thoughts are my own. I make mistakes sometimes. Try not to drag me all over the internet. I do appreciate any feedback, so let me know what you would like to see me review next. And if you like this video and it resonated with you, hit the little bell or whatever we're doing on YouTube and follow me if you would like more fun and family car reviews. I'm also online at realmomcartours.com and all over social media. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at realmomcartours.com. Thanks for watching.